The season 2021 will soon come to an end, but we still got a lot of action going around here. Welcome to Misano. We are ahead of race 2. We've got the reverse grid, and this is quite interesting concerning the Goodyear Cup. The battle is still on. We've got Theo Calvé on pole position starting this reverse grid. And of course, we see the other contestants as well. Shane Brereton still in the lead for the Goodyear Cup. Then comes Theo Calvé, then Stefan Faas. And let's have a look at the best of pictures of these three guys. The battle of the Goodyear Cup comes to its final phase, and we've got the door open here at the truck of Theo Calvé. So you're on pole position and ready to race 2. The setup is quite clear because the temperature rose a little bit.
Yeah, it will be, I think, better this race because, like you say, the temperature is now a little bit down, So, yeah, we will see. I will try to make my best, of course, and keep the first position.
Okay. Thank you very much. Good for me that he said down because I said a rose. I don't know why. But, what is your focus right now? Because you already raced right now, race 1. Any particular curves and where you say, oh, it might be quite dangerous for me where I need to brake faster?
I don't know, honestly. For us, it's quite difficult track. So I will try to have good lines and don't take any risk because I have big boys just behind me. They will try to overtake me also. So yeah, I will fight and we will see.
Thank you very much. Let's have a look, Sean, at the big boys here behind Theo Calvé. Of course, they're all competing for the best position possible. And yes, thank you very much. We've got some little space here, the last drips of water. Chaz, do you have water as well there in your commentary booth?
I have very much needed it today, yeah. I've done a lot of talking and socialising this weekend, and it's one of the very few weekends where my voice is actually starting to go. And it's only the Saturday afternoon, but either way, we've had a fantastic day's racing so far. Lots of action, some very high spirits, and a very emotional Norbert Kish earlier. Hello, everyone. I am indeed Chaz Draycott. Happy to be here at Misano on site this weekend, guiding you through all of the action. And we have certainly had a lot of it. The sun is getting lower here at Misano. Could pose a potential issue for drivers this late in the day, although I say late, it's only 25 to 5, to be fair, local time. Was around the circuit the other night in the official truck, the Ford F-Max, with the sun going down, and I could tell you that then it was a real issue with how much you could see, but still, we have championship fights to be decided. Just because Norbert Kish has been declared as champion doesn't mean that the other guys behind him don't have to fight for their respective positions as well. This man here, Adam Lachko, is trying to grab second in the championship from Sasha Lenz, but Sasha had a fantastic performance in that last one, took his 10th of the season and his 3rd race victory, really opening up the gap to Adam, who had quite a bit of damage on the front of his truck by the end. As you see, just some final repairs and a man's best friend, zip ties, holding the front together there. The truck has certainly had a tough day so far. But we have someone who normally has a rough day starting on the front row with Christina, René Reiner.
Yeah, Rennie Ryan. Our commentator said you had a rough day because it was quite a bit difficult for you. I think one tire was down and you had a little bit of smoke coming out of the truck. Everything is all right?
Yeah, the smoke was also from the tire, and I was then after the crash. I was much more slower, and I was happy that I could get seventh position. But it was not an easy race. Yeah.
What are you up for race 2? So everything is fixed right now? Any strategies?
Yeah, I hope so. Yeah, we had also a shaking in the truck in the brakings in the first race, and I hope it's solved now. I tried already in the outlap, and it was okay, and I hope this will all be the same in the race.
Good luck to you then. Thank you very much for the interviews. So we've got 2 commentators today. We've got Chase Record, and of course I want to welcome Joachim Eberts. He's commentating right now from Germany. Salute. So back to you, Chase, and of course Joachim.
Thank you very much, Christina. Great to hear from our front 2. Very interesting front row of the grid as well. Theo Calve alongside René Reiner. 2 guys that really need to bag a lot of points this weekend. René wants to try and move further up in the overall standings. He came into this race meeting only 1 point behind Jamie Anderson and also Anthony Janiak, but Janiak starting right behind Reiner on the grid. Those guys battling for the final spot inside the top 10 this season. There is René from the other side of his truck. You can see the massive amount of electronics and equipment that they have inside the cabins, all of the fuses and loads of wiring and all sorts. And then, of course, the humongous frames on the back of these trucks. Big 6-cylinder diesel engines as well. And we have another interview with Christina, this time Adam Lachko.
Yes, sometimes you need a wizard or sometimes you need some zip ties. You try to fix your front right now. Does it work?
Yeah, I think it's okay because we discussion in the tent and we think it's okay. But for FIA, he said it's better a little bit fixed for safety. We do it and I think it's okay.
What are your plans for race 2? The temperature is lower. You said you had some problems with the temperatures rising during first race. So this might be good for you.
Yeah, I hope it's a little bit better. But Sasha showed on the first race very good, very nice speed, and he's very good. But for me, it's not bad because on my third position it's safe because fourth and fifth position it's far away. And now I try concentrate for the best for catch Sasha.
Absolutely, thank you very much. So Adam Lachko is of course competing to his, he said, third place right now with Sasha Lenz, already second in the overall standings, and we will going to have a great race to see.
Yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Second race of the day. Everybody sort of gearing up now to prepare themselves for a good Sunday. Because, let's face it, with the final day of the championship, they are running out of time to bag points and gain places and finish wherever they want to be. Of course, they all want to be at the top, but that spot is now occupied. Norbert Kish, the 2021 champion, as we will remind you. Sasha Lenz there, as we look through the front of his truck, you can see battle scars, I think, is the best way of doing it. Some wonderful zip tie work there to keep that together. But the trucks are looking a little worse for wear in places as we get to the end of the season, but they've been fantastic workhorses this season. And somebody that's had a very, very interesting season will speak to Christina right now.
It's Steffi Ham, and she told me in Jarama that they got a new complete setup on the truck. How is it behaving? Because after the qualifying, I thought you had really good timings, and after the race 1, maybe it was a bit difficult, but how is the truck going?
Yeah, I think we are on the good and on the right way. Like I told you in Jarama, we made a step more in front, and also the qualifying, I was satisfied with it after. So, yeah, the race 1 was a little bit difficult, especially since the middle of the race, because we lose a little bit the speed. But I hope we can continue in the second race a little bit better and finish a little bit better. But it was, for me, it was perfect.
Thank you very much. That sounds great. Perfect for Steffi Hamann, of course. Perfect for you, all the viewers there back home.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Christina. Always the absolute star getting us all of these interviews. Now we see our beautiful Ford F-Max, the 2019 International Truck of the Year, doing some more laps around a very glowy and golden Misano World Circuit right now. Doing some final familiarization and just checking on the circuit. And you can see this first section of the lap is very, very twisty indeed. There are a lot of start-stop sections around here, but also at the same time some really, really quick, sort of high-speed, long sweeping corners further around the circuit. And the F-Max now making its way down towards turn 8. And it's one hell of a job to be able to drive that thing. As mentioned in the earlier broadcast, I was riding shotgun in the F-Max yesterday and fell into the middle of the cabin pretty much when we went round the right-hand hairpin. But it was a fantastic ride. And apparently I might be going out in the Iveco tomorrow morning as well. So 2 real bucket list things for me will be ticked off the list very quickly. As anyone knows that has been watching these broadcasts this year, I absolutely worship our 2 official and pace trucks, and it's one of my real highlights to come and see them in person this year. But there is the wonderful silhouette of the F-Max making its way towards us, and there is the wonderful 3-minute board which has been held up. People taking pictures and taking advantage of that. But that means we will not be too far away now from the start of the second race of the weekend, round 22 of the 2021 FIA European Truck Racing Championship. But our very loyal drivers getting the F-Max and Iveco S-Way safely around the circuit this year. Just finishing up this lap now into turn 13. And then through the final section here at turn 14, this shortened version of the Misano circuit, before we get our pace truck away in just a minute or so. As you saw there, not all of the grandstands being filled this weekend. The fans are here in good numbers, but just in only certain areas. Mainly here down the main straight. You can see a lot of the circuit from the pit building down the main straight here. You'll see a lot of them now, really, in the pit lane and above up on the balconies. And everybody now clearing the grid to let the drivers get on with the job. Rene Reiner's Iveco on the right-hand side of the shot there. Teo Calve's Freightliner on the left. And the marshals, some of the only people left on the grid. There's one of Antonio Albertetti's team. Not based too far away from me, actually, back in the UK. Just slightly north of where I live. You can see now doors being closed, drivers being prepared, and the 1-minute board up skyward, ready to get things underway. And a quick thanks as well to all of our marshals and officials and everybody around the circuit doing their jobs and doing them oh so well. They keep these race meetings running like clockwork. And as is almost tradition right now, you can hear AC/DC playing in the background as they get ready to set off on the green flag lap, or the warm-up lap as it's known. The lights flashing away on the back of the Iveco. Really does show you the size difference though. I know I mentioned it earlier, but I like repeating myself. You can see the humongous size difference between these things. That is what they call a high cab in the Iveco, or a sleeper at least. Teo Calve not quite getting away for a moment there. I think there might have been a planned delay before Teo went anywhere, but still certainly seemed to be taking his time to lead this field away. You can see the shadows though, how stretched they are and how low the sunlight is. everyone making their way down the straight. Norbert Kish and Sascha Lenz lining up on row 4 of the grid. With the reverse grid of the top 8 being applied this time round. Now, I think there may be a little bit of jumbling around of the order at the back of the grid. I'm not quite sure if we have Andrei Kurzim back out on track. I'm trying to see if I could spot him. But the last 3 on the grid should be Antonio Albacete, Jamie Anderson and Andrei Kurzim. Now, Jamie and Andrei both having issues in the earlier race. Jamie pulling off to the side. It was a steering issue for Jamie Anderson. And Kurzim's issue was something to do with the front axle. So they didn't want to take any risks and decided to pull the truck in and end their race there. The official pace truck, as you saw there, is powered by Bio-LNG. It reduces a lot of the noise from a usual diesel engine and, of course, reduces the emissions, which is the main focus, by some 95%. There was Jamie Anderson and Antonio Albacete together on the grid, but at the top end it's Theo Calvé and René Reiner on the front row. Anthony Janiak and Adam Lachko on row 2, ahead of Steffi Halm and Jochen Hahn. Then it's Norbert Kish and Sascha Lenz on row 4, with Shane Brayton alongside Lucas Hahn rounding out the top 10. Shane focusing on the Goodyear Cup Championship with Theo at the front. Alia Kolok starts 11th. She might finish there, you never know. Stefan Fass and Antonio Albacete are next up, with Jamie Anderson at the back of the field. But as mentioned, I do not think we have Andrei Kurzim out for this one in the number 11 Iveco. But Lucas Hahn certainly one to watch in this as well, in the white and blue number 22 Iveco. He was 4th in the original qualifying, managed to get into the Super Pole session, then qualified 8th. He did fall back further down the order, but he fought back well to get into 10th position overall at the... So now is the nerve-wracking moment for some of the drivers and teams and officials and all sorts as they come into the last couple of corners to get race 2 underway. You can definitely tell how low the sun is getting now. We'll have to keep an eye on that as drivers try to navigate the first couple of corners, which basically face into the sun. Now, don't forget, in the Goodyear Cup, they are scored separately. So Theo Calvé, despite being so many positions ahead of Shane Brayton on the circuit, 8 positions in total, he will only score the usual number of points in the Goodyear Cup based on their positions in that class. So it's first and second for those two at the moment. Our pace truck makes its way in. Our driver Frank doing a wonderful job as always. Can't wait to go out with him in that tomorrow. But right now the focus is on the race, not my personal endeavours. And round 22 of the 2021 FIA European Truck Racing Championship is underway. Theo Calvé plants his foot from the right-hand side of the grid. Norbert Kish has had a great start and moves over to the left-hand side. Lachko goes over to the left-hand side of Reiner. They're 3 wide into turn 1. Reiner and Lachko much later on the brakes. Reiner goes around the outside. That's going to cut him then to the inside. Theo Calvé was very hesitant going into turn 1. Lachko wanted to get past Janiak. And look at this already. Fantastic, feisty stuff from René Reiner. Trying to go around the outside. Smoke and dust being kicked up all over the place as they head off into the sunshine, and somehow Theo Calvé has managed to stay in front. Now look at Anthony Janiak. I mean, it's hard not to. In the bright, bright yellow number 65 Lion Truck Racing Machine. He's now got back into 3rd, and actually Adam Lachko has dropped back into 5th position. He's behind Jochen Hahn. Then it's Steffi Halm, Norbert Kish, Lucas Hahn up to 8th place already. He's overtaken Sascha Lenz and Shane Brayton. Fantastic start by Lucas Hahn. Steffi Halm looking down the inside of Lachko, who's looking down the inside of Hahn, who's looking down the inside of Janiak. And look at Norbert Kish around the outside of Steffi Halm. On board with Norby now. Now Steffi's around here somewhere on the left-hand side, ready to take advantage and try and outbrake the Hungarian, but we've not seen many people do that this season. He's very close to the back of Lachko through turn 10. Janiak out wide. That's Jochen Hahn next to him. Bit of bodywork hanging off Jochen's truck, which suggests there might have been a bit of contact. Look at that shot, though. Beautiful silhouettes and reflections as they come towards us. But there is your race leader, 2021 French truck racing champion, Theo Calvé. He's been a real star this year. Thoroughly enjoyed watching him. Jochen Hahn takes third place then from Janiak, but Reiner climbing all over the back of Theo Calvé's truck. Lachko fifth, then it's Kish. Steffi Halm dropping down a little bit now to seventh. And Lucas Hahn ahead of Sasha Lenz and Shane Brereton. Now this helps Lachko. This goes the other way now. Adam started much further down on the grid than Sasha did in the first race, but we've got the whole field in one humongous train as they come past here. Norbert Kish all the way over to the right-hand side. Pulls back over to the left. We've got smoke coming off the back of Steffi Halm's truck with the bodywork flapping around in the wind. So hopefully that doesn't cause any further issues for her. One way, then the other through this first section here. Fantastic onboards by Norbert Kish. And down the inside goes Adam Lachko. A big send on Janiak. The two of them make contact. The bodywork gets flicked up in the air and Norbert Kish takes advantage. Through the inside of Janiak he goes. But is Anthony going to stay down the inside? No, he's not. And he goes out wide, and Steffi Halm then takes advantage as well. There's Stefan Faas and Jamie Anderson right together. Further down the pack now, Norbert Kish is defending. There's smoke all over the place from Steffi Halm's truck. It's a 007 smoke screen. As they go towards turn 8, there's a big send in the background. I think that was Stefan Faas down the inside of Jamie Anderson. Janiak getting elbowed out wide by Steffi Halm. She's a very feisty racer, is Steffi. She doesn't want to give an inch there. But look at the smoke screen, it's unbelievable. All that bodywork rubbing on the tyre, and already I can smell it all the way over here in the commentary box. The smoke has made its way across. The smell is unbelievable. There's Stefan Faas with Jamie Anderson on his right-hand side and manages to go through. Great stuff from Stefan. Good fighting with Jamie, those two both racing in the Goodyear Cup as well. René Reiner looking down the inside now, or, well, is that defending from Jochen Hahn? Because Jochen trying to move further forward now. Steffi Halm has not just got the tyre going down, there's an engine fire. As look at that, Jamie Anderson and Stefan Faas side by side again as they went through the final couple of corners. Steffi has continued. I'm going to look out the window and see what the smoke is like. She is slowing down a bit. Sasha Lenz trying to go around the outside. Now he's got the inside for turn 2. Janiak getting a bit of a bump there from Lucas Hahn. He's got Shane Brereton behind him. Now Lucas obviously ahead of him in the Goodyear Cup now as well, which is important because Brereton, if he finishes second in this race, he only has to score 3 points tomorrow, and Lucas is now having a go at Janiak. There is a lot of smoke coming off Steffi Halm's truck. I would argue that that's just bodywork flailing around though. Down the back straight they go towards turn 8. It's still Calvé leading from Reiner, Hahn, Lachko, Kish, Lenz, Steffi Halm. Yeah, that's definitely not just the tyre, there's something else going on in there for sure. Lucas Hahn now past Janiak. Lucas has been fantastic to watch this weekend. I said it earlier that he was going to be one to watch in this race. He's proving me right at the moment. It's not often that us commentators get things right, so make sure you remember that. I love that shot from the end of this straight. They fly down towards the back end of the circuit, down towards turns 11, 12, 13. This is 11. Very fast right kink. They're almost flat out through there at 100 miles an hour, 160 kilometers an hour. And there is what remains of Steffi Halm's truck. There's smoke coming off the tyre and there's smoke coming off the engine. As Lucas Hahn looked very fast into there then. It looked like he'd gone a bit too deep into turn 13, but no, manages to get it stopped. But But everyone's sticking closely together so far. This is the 3rd lap out of 12, so a quarter of the race, and Steffi Halm is coming in, I believe. No, she's not. No, it looked like she was behind the second of the 2 barriers for a moment there, but no, she carries on. Everybody trying to find just a little bit of breathing room at the moment. It's all very close, contested stuff. It's been confirmed there is no fire, it's just smoke at the moment. But look at the bodywork, it's still hanging on at an angle, and then with all of the air pressure at the back of these trucks and the way that the air flows over the top of them and sort of circulates behind the cab, it looks like it all comes out of the back of the cab. It's incredible. They really do fling smoke up into the air. But still, Calve doing a great job. He already has an overall race win this season, which he got at Jarama in Spain a few weeks ago. As down the inside goes Jochen Hahn into 2nd place. And there goes Shane Brayton on Janiak. Oh, there's a massive hit. Big contact. Janiak is barged out of the way. Oh, and Stefan Fass, I think, collected him. Either that or it was amazing avoidance. Stefan having 2 warnings already for track limits, unfortunately, so he's pushing the limit a little bit too far right now, but that was a massive hit by Brayton on Janiak. Look at that, the whole rear end of the truck came off of the ground. Not sure if Janiak just didn't see him or whether Shane went in a little bit too late. That was so close as well with Anderson and with Alberthetti. I don't think there was contact with Stefan Fass, but wow. I don't think there was much Janiak could have done about the rejoin, but well, it certainly will raise a couple of eyebrows. Oh, I think Anderson's just had a little moment there through turn 13 and 14. Goes a bit deep. And that incident that we just saw there is under investigation. Thanks to the wonderful people at Smart Witness as well, who have their cameras in all of our trucks, and they help provide the evidence and video footage from any incidents that get looked at. Now, 6-time champion Jochen Hahn chasing down Theo Calve, doing a good job of it as well. As bodywork damage on the front of Shane Brayton's truck. That truck has really been in the wars recently. And we apparently have number 77 and 66 under investigation, but we'd seen in 16. Either that or Rene Reiner has done something seriously wrong from 3rd place. But still, interesting to see that Lucas Hahn on the right-hand side of his truck there, I think it was either the wing mirror or sort of like the support for the window or something has come loose, or one of the seals around the door. It's flapping around, you can see it. There's now Shane Brayton under attack from Jamie Anderson. Jamie goes down the inside. Shane's very sideways mid-corner, and that's another position in the Goodyear Cup that he has lost. So he's down to 4th place in the Goodyear Cup now. Theo Calve still leading the race outright. He's going to gain a bunch of points on them. Look at the smoke. Well, truck racing certainly brings the party to the circuits. It seems like Steffi Halm has brought the smoke machine with her this time round. There is a quick look at the smoke, and you can see how it sort of spins off the rear tyre, moves forward towards the cab, and then sort of just plumes up in the air. It's pretty amazing airflow. Now, I'd argue that Shane might have damage on the front of that truck after that incident, and that's why he's dropping away. Now, Theo Calve isn't running away with this, is he? Look at that. Everybody is queued up behind him, all the way down to 8th position. The top 8 right on each other's tails, and then there's not much of a gap back to Jamie Anderson and then Shane Brayton. It's great to watch, though, because everybody is fighting for positions. This is one of the closest races that we've seen all season. There's all the fans on the rooftop. Wonderful shot of them flying down the straight here at Misano. It's a great circuit for spectators. It's a great circuit in general. Adam Lachko down the inside of Rene Reiner. I think there was contact between the two. Lachko, you can see, snatched a break there. And they're still leaning on each other, but Lachko is ahead. I'm not sure how happy with that Rene will be, but through goes Norbert Kish as well. He wants to take advantage of this, and he's through on the pair of them. He's up to 3rd position. Norby hasn't been pushing too hard through the pack in this race. He's just been sticking to his guns and waiting for the opportunity to come up in front of him, and he's done the perfect job there. Look at that, he's streaking away from Adam Lachko. Jamie Anderson's had his second warning for track limits as well. Seems like a common theme here at Misano. There's a lot of runoff area. Calve's made a mistake. Theo Calve went a little bit deep on the brakes there. The back end stepped out slightly, and I think Jochen Hahn has got the lead. No, he hasn't. He hasn't managed to do it yet. Here's Steffi Halm, all over the back of Sascha Lenz. They're all queuing up behind René Reiner, who's gone deep. He was on the outside, I think, of Adam Lachko, and now Lenz on the right-hand side gets a good run. Although René Reiner carries a lot of speed through there. Now, Jochen Hahn needs to get past Theo Calve as soon as possible, because Norbert Kish will close him down so fast. I mean, he's already a mile away from Adam Lachko. He's getting very, very close to those guys at the front now. Sascha Lenz down the inside of René Reiner. And Kish already having a go at Jochen Hahn. As, oh, René, I told you René gets bashed about quite a lot. He's been put off the road there. I think Steffi Halm was involved. He's certainly having a very tough season, is René Reiner. I do feel for him. But now the top three right together then. Theo Calve, Jochen Hahn, Norbert Kish. His fans are very, very happy on the rooftop, cheering him on. And René Reiner, I've just seen come past with Jamie Anderson all over the back of him, and then Shane Brayton climbing all over him as well. The three of them were separated by just over a tenth of a second as they crossed the line. But the top three are the ones that are really, really close now. Theo Calve defending from a 6-time champion, defending from a 3-time newly crowned champion. And Theo Calve looking to be a champion of his own in the Goodyear Cup. He's of course won the French Truck Racing Championship, and is that Steffi Halm off the road? Is it Steffi or is it Lucas? Oh, it's Lucas Hahn. Lucas Hahn was off the circuit. He had such a fantastic through the order. Not sure what happened there, but he's lost a number of positions now. That's such a shame for Lucas. They're still making contact and having a big fight further back. Is that Shane Brayton and Jamie Anderson throwing the trucks at one another? You can barely tell who it is because of all the smoke. Now then, Jochen Hahn has got past Theo Calve, has he? Yes, he's got rid of the overlap. Looks like he's got the move done down the inside, and Norbert Kish trying to take advantage again. That's the phrase I've used mostly for Norby in this race. As the battles happen in front of him, and he tries to take extra positions when the others slow down around him. Well, I don't think he was ready for Calve to break that early then. It was almost like he got caught out, puts his nose down the inside. I think there was a tiny bit of contact. Lachko suddenly arrives on the scene, and so too does Sascha Lenz. Steffi Halm in 6th place, kind of on her own now. And the incident was apparently... Well, there was apparently an incident between 33 and 77, which is Anderson and Reiner. So those two making contact as well. Because René has dropped right down now, and he's actually pulled over. Now, I didn't see him pull over at the side, so not quite sure exactly what's gone on there, I'm afraid. We'll give you updates as and when we can, but that's under investigation for now. But Jochen Hahn has the race lead. Truck 1 is P1 at the moment. I'm just so devastated for Lucas Hahn. He's been doing so well this weekend, really proving how well he's developing as a racer, getting the results. The bonnet on Theo Calve's truck flapping around, bits of bodywork flapping around on Adam Lachko's truck. They're certainly making these machines work in this final race meeting of the season. But that silhouette there is Jochen Hahn leading the race. And doing a mega job at the moment, but look at this now. Norbert Kish, very ominous silhouette of that MAN with the cutouts on the front bumper, chasing Theo Calvé. He's got one of his rear arches flying around in the wind. It's a very strange angle for it to be at. We've not seen them at that angle this season. It's almost like a big air brake, though. That won't be helping him. You can see Norbert just trying to find different lines around Theo Calvé, just keeping him under pressure, making sure that he fills his mirrors. And the number 66 machine of Janiek is under investigation for his 3rd penalty marker. So he's having his share of the action as well and pushing it a bit hard. But we've got a Bagheera sandwich right now, and the filling is Norbert Kish. Jochen Hahn comes past the commentary box on to the 9th lap of the race. Now Norbert Kish just needs to keep scoring points here. He wants to make sure that he wins the championship by a big margin. He's ahead of Sascha Lenz on the road, and that's what matters to him most at the moment. But he's got Lachko in there as well. Now Lachko will want to outscore outscore Sascha by as many points as possible, but right now he's only 1 place in front of him. And in the reverse grid race, you don't get as many points either. You get 10 points for a win, and then throughout the top 10, it's just 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So you only get 1 extra point per position. So Lachko will close the gap to Sascha, but only by 1 point if the race finishes the way it is now. That rear piece of bodywork really hanging on for Theo Calvé. You can hear tyres squealing and all sorts. It's like a fog of war around that side of the circuit. There's barely any visibility from all of these machines kicking up smoke in their own way. No black smoke though. Look at Norbert Kish, so aggressive on Theo Calvé, looking one way then the other. Really showing him that he really wants to make a move. He's got Lachko right behind, and then Sascha Lenz as well, so I don't think he's going to risk too much right now. Although he's got a fantastic cutback through turn 13, but doesn't get it alongside in time. I was going to say, I don't think he wants to risk too much right now, because at the end of the day, if he goes for a move and it doesn't quite work, Lachko and Lenz will give him a taste of his own medicine and just dive past him at their first opportunity. You can see how much lower the sun is getting there. Now Norbert Kish, you can't overtake off the circuit, mate. Tries to go one way, then the other. Goes to the left-hand side of Theo Calvé, round the outside he goes. That's going to be the inside for turn 2. Gets it stopped nicely. He told us in the earlier race how difficult it is to hang it around the outside there, but Theo stands his ground in what looks like the little Freightliner at the moment. It's the little Freightliner that could. Trust me, they're still very big trucks. But still Theo hangs on. Now look at Lachko. Lachko's going to try and come through on newly crowned champion Norbert Kish. Kish is on the left-hand side of Theo Calvé. The trucks are bobbling around all over the place. Lachko gets the run. Is Sascha Lenz going to get in on this as well? This is our top 3 title fighters, all fighting on circuit together. You can see the shadows of how close together they are. Hard into the brakes into turn 8 they go now. Really closing up to Theo Calvé. Maybe a little bit too much for Norbert Kish. Manages to stay in front. Now where is Lachko? Tries to go through on the left. Doesn't work. Kish blocks it off. And there you could see Lucas Hahn very much on his own in 12th position at the moment. Alia Kolok is the next truck back, and then René Reiner is in the pits, I'm afraid. But this awesome battle right now is Norbert Kish, Theo Calvé, Adam Lachko and Sascha Lenz. And this may continue until the very end of the race. This is lap 10 out of 12. We're going to get 2 more after this one. Not that you need me to do the maths for you. Jochen Hahn has disappeared up front though. This would be his 3rd race win of the year if he secures this. He's been on the podium 6 times already. This will be his 7th appearance. And we've had a second warning for Shane Brayton for his penalty marker, as Kish tries it again on Teo Calve. Again around the outside, Teo gives as good as he gets. Stays down the inside just about into turn 4. Lachko's not there to take advantage this time, but can Kish get a cutback? He can. Look at that beautiful stuff by Norbert Kish down the inside, elbows out, says get out there son. Teo cuts back on the inside again though, manages to just about stay in front. Fantastic racing from these two, and never mind Lachko being there. Now it's all about Sasha Lenz being there. Lenz tries to go through down the inside of not just Norbert Kish, but Teo Calve as well. So this fight continuing with all three of them. There's nearly contact between Lenz and Kish. But they're all over the back of Teo Calve. It's been a fantastic defensive performance by the Frenchman. Jochen Hahn is just over the horizon right now, though. He'll be enjoying himself out there. As here down the inside comes Kish. Still no overlap there, though. As they can all get to 100 miles an hour as quickly as they want. Once they're there, they have to back it off and be careful they don't go over that speed. They can get penalties for doing so. Now it's Sasha Lenz that is all over the back of Norbert Kish. And speaking of getting a penalty for speeding, Anthony Janiak is under investigation for that offence. Onto the final lap then comes Jochen Hahn. And then it's this battle, Teo Calve, Norbert Kish. Kish late on the brakes. Calve makes sure that he defends the outside line so that Kish can't get around him. Lachko and Lenz so close together behind these two as well. Oh, and Norby's found an opening. Or has he? No, he's not quite able to get alongside. I'm still amazed that that bodywork for Teo Calve has stayed on all this time. Here we go, on board with Norbert Kish once again. To show you exactly how it looks from his point of view. That Freightliner holding on so well, as is that bodywork. Now which way is Norby going to go? He goes to the right-hand side. Tries to go around the outside of Teo Calve. That doesn't work this time. Sasha Lenz still waiting in the wings. A bit further back, Jamie Anderson is ahead of Antonio Albacete. And then it's Shane Brayton, Anthony Janiak and Stefan Faas rounding out the top 10. There's a bit of debris or something there on the circuit. Maybe bits of tyre by the look of it. Looks to be quite soft. Like strands of the tyre as if it's delaminated or something. And Norby tries to keep his nose down the inside. Doesn't do it through there. And there's a 10-second time penalty for Janiak in 9th position. So that's going to give at least a position to Stefan Faas. But into the final couple of corners, it's going to be the win number 3 of the season for Jochen Hahn. He may be the outgoing champion, but he's certainly one of the men to beat in this championship. It's been a bit of a difficult year for him, but he drifts the wonderful Iveco across the line, and Jochen Hahn wins round 22 of the championship. Is Teo Calve going to hold on ahead of Norbert Kish? Just about. Fantastic driving by Teo Calve. That was awesome stuff to watch. Kish gets another podium. Sasha Lenz gets 4th place ahead of Lachko. Then it's Jamie Anderson, Antonio Albacete. Shane Brayton gets 8th place, which is going to be 3rd place in the Goodyear Cup. So he only loses a couple of points to Teo Calve. So his lead in the championship is cut slightly. Janiak will drop down the order quite a lot, to be fair, down to at least 11th or even 12th position. And Steffi Halm eventually came into the pits as well at the end of that one, so everybody gained a place. And people further down will gain even more places from that, so another rather attritional race there, actually. Andrei Kurzim never came out onto the circuit. Steffi Helm retiring on lap 11 as well. But still fantastic to see Jochen Hahn get his 3rd race win of the season. Oh, there's a lot of bodywork there. I think maybe the tyre might have finally given way on Steffi Helm's truck or something. Yeah, there's a lot of pieces of tyre down there, actually, that I didn't notice earlier. So that's a real shame. But Jochen Hahn, with an absolutely massive number of race wins in his entire career, adds another one to the tally. As mentioned, though, it's not been a straightforward year for Jochen. He's had some fantastic pace in some of the qualifying sessions, but in the races, sometimes it just hasn't come together the way he wanted. But today was one of those days. As soon as they got away early on, he just looked like a threat for the win. And he got it absolutely nailed. And the glorious Iveco S-Way takes another win. Andre Kurzim also getting 3 wins in the same sort of truck this year. Real shame not to see Andre out there. And it was a flat tyre for Steffi Helm. It was confirmed earlier by the wonderful Barbara, who gives me all of my information behind the scenes. I get a lot of information given to me by everybody who works here in the championship, and they really do help me out. And again, I reiterate the fact that it's been fantastic to meet all of these wonderful people that make my job as easy as possible. But it's a win for Jochen Hahn. Theo Calve takes an overall podium and, of course, the win in the Goodyear Cup. Norbert Kish gets his 14th podium of the year, with Sascha Lenz just behind. Adam Lachko keeps up the theme of having truck 55 in P5, just ahead of Jamie Anderson. And then it's Antonio Albertetti in the number 23 machine. Now, of course, some of the incidents that we saw earlier are under investigation. Janiek will get a 10-second penalty. We know that much already, which promotes Stefan Faas into 9th place. And Lucas Hahn will also gain a position out of that, as he was only 6 seconds back. And Alia Kolok will also gain a place from Janiek as well, actually. So Kolok will be classified in 11th. Janiek will be classified in 12th. Steffi Helm may still get classified at the end of that, as she was only 1 lap from the end when she came in. There is truck 1, P1, Jochen Hahn. Very well done indeed. Big wolf whistle in the background, and a lot of round of applause for him. Jochen will step out. One of the loudest horns in the world goes off, and he will instantly go to Theo Calve to say well done, I imagine. Really, really good sportsmanship from Jochen. He really appreciates a good battle out on the circuit, and I know that Theo would have enjoyed that race massively. A great win for Jochen, though. Much deserved after a rather difficult season. You can see in the background still how low the sun is getting, though, I must admit. Obviously, with it being later in the year, sun goes down much sooner. Theo Calve takes the win in the Goodyear Cup and gets a fantastic round of applause from his team at Bagheera Racing. An awesome defensive drive to hold off Norbert Kish, Sascha Lenz and Adam Lachko, the top 3 overall in the championship. And Bagheera, after having a truck that doesn't really suit this circuit and having issues with the setup and the temperature, he finally turned it around and got some amazing pace out of it. And that was really how to defend. Of course, Theo, a real talent, French truck racing champion this year. and showing exactly why he managed to secure that feat a few weeks ago. There is Norbert Kish, another podium to add to the tally. And a much more relaxed atmosphere now that he has wrapped up the title for sure. Teo Calvé continues to receive congratulations from all involved. And he goes over to congratulate Norbert as well, and probably to thank him for such a fantastic battle. And we have Christina down there with the man of the moment, Jochen Hahn.
Yes, Jochen, congratulations. You won this race, a tough race, of course, but the last rounds, I thought you were, I don't know, reading your newspaper. It seems from the outside, it seemed so smooth. I know it's completely different when you're driving the truck. How was it for you?
Yeah, you know, race. It's not easy to do. But in the end, I'm very happy to stay in Misano with a win in the nearly the last day in the season. So yeah, we are still back on the winning route, and it feels good. So from this side, I'm very happy we found the way back. So, but we are not back in the championship, but back on the race win. So from this side, very happy.
How did you manage that?
It's, you know, I feel in the first 2-3 laps, oh, it's going fast. Oh, it's going fast. Okay, then I fight, and the end of the fight, it's the win, and I'm very happy. So, but everybody play very fair, and from this side, I'm very proud to stay here.
You immediately went to Teo Calvé. What did you tell him?
You know, Theo, it's I will not say I'm the idol from him, but many times he say I will stay like Jochen, and I give him a congrats. So we make a fair play, and from this side, only a congratulation.
That's good. You're a fair play man, good sportsman. Enjoy the podium. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Jochen Hahn, very, very humble indeed. He's an absolutely fantastic character. Always says it in the best way, does Jochen. You know, he keeps things neutral and he keeps things fair, even when it's the sort of toughest of times as the season goes on. But Jochen Hahn then takes the overall victory. Teo Calvé wins in the Goodyear Cup with Norbert Kish just behind him on the podium. Sasha Lenz and Adam Lachko had a fantastic fight in there as well to get 4th and 5th. Jamie Anderson comes through from very far down in the grid, actually. Started 14th in that race, so an amazing performance through the field by Jamie Anderson. Alberthetti finishes 7th ahead of Shane Brereton, with Stefan Faas and Lucas Hahn rounding out the top 10. Another great top 10 for Lucas, very well deserved. Behind them, Alia Kolok is classified in 12th place, just ahead of Anthony Janiak. Steffi Halm 1 lap down after retiring. And then René Reiner also out of the race after contact earlier on. But now this time I will remember that we actually have a podium to go to, and in just a second we will get the drivers up there. But there are your winning 3. Fantastic race and really under the radar performance in places by Norbert Kish. He just picked off the positions one by one, waited for the chances to come to him. And that sometimes is the best way to just secure points after points after points. You don't need to go savagely sending it down the inside every single corner. You just need to wait for the opportunities and just pick your moments. And he certainly did that there. A real champion's drive for Norbert Kish. So here we go then, the guys all waiting behind the scenes for the podium. And Teo Calvé is about to take quite a lot of silverware. And Norbert Kish gets a sort of boxing ring welcome to the podium there. 3rd place for him. And then in flamboyant Italian fashion, the announcer at the circuit announces Teo Calvé, a real superstar. I honestly cannot wait to see Teo Calvé back in the championship. Hopefully we have him again next year, and he'll be in the Titan category as far as I know. But then a man that is no stranger to the top step of the podium, Jochen Hahn, another race win in his career. Great to see, really great to see. This is the trophy moment. Some of the drivers haven't clicked onto this yet by the look of it, but they sort of get re-announced to pick up their trophies and give the trophy a wave in the air. Teo with both his arms up. That's something that we got used to seeing at Most. And Jochen Hahn, again, more silverware for the cabinet, which I imagine is a very, very extensively large cabinet at home. And there you go, the German national anthem for Jochen Hahn, and now the drivers will pose for pictures.
Okay, all together on the same step of the podium, the first one, all together really close, please, for the pictures, all together.
Now they get directions to get onto the top step. I think Teo needs to put his Goodyear cap on.
Okay, great.
More arms in the air for Teo.
Next pictures, you can change your caps, please, and staying all together on the main step of the podium. Just look at here on your left side. Okay. And now
That's a real strong trio of drivers right there. Three of the real stars of the season, and now because they can get each other soaked, here comes the champagne. Let's see if Norby gets drenched, although I think Jochen might have just let him get away with that one. No, there you go. No, he's not let him get away with it. Fantastic. It's almost like he realised for a second, hang on, you need another soaking. And a big well done, and a big swig of the champagne for Jochen Hahn. Yeah, that's it, Norby. You can't drink it with your mask on. It's a good champagne bottle holder as well, as Jochen finds out. And now we will get the Goodyear Cup podium, which will include a very, very amazing drive by Jamie Anderson. That was awesome to watch. The trophies get placed out on the podium. And then we will welcome our drivers out in just a sec. But again, I spoke about under-the-radar performances. Honestly, I realised that Jamie was picking his way through the order, but starting 14th on the grid to come through and finish 6th overall, overtaking at least half of the field after the issues he's had all weekend, that is amazing to see, and a really, really positive turnaround for that team, because he's trying to chase Stefan Faas for 3rd in the Goodyear Cup. There was only 6 points between them coming into this weekend. So it's important for Jamie to grab those points now. I mean, let's face it, it's the final race meeting of the season. They really need to get them. So here's Shane Brereton, still leading the Goodyear Cup. He doesn't need to get too many points tomorrow now. He's almost got one hand on the trophy, you could say, but Teo Calvé is going to work very hard to try and stop him. Jamie Anderson makes his way out onto the podium as well. After one of the drives of the season, it has to be said. Awesome performance by Jamie. And then a man that we've seen on the top step of the Goodyear Cup podium a lot this season, Teo Calvé, in the Bulgaria Racing Freightliner. And here we go. Yeah, they're getting good good instruction now, at least, to show their trophies.
The Gold Cup for the winner, Teo Calvé. E ora siamo pronti per ascoltare la Marseillaise.
Fantastic stuff from all of our Goodyear Cup drivers, and a very well done to Teo Calvé for taking another victory in the class. It's been an incredibly hard-fought season so far, and they have just one more day of racing to go. 2 more races tomorrow, and of course another qualifying and super pole. But for now, the guys can enjoy some champagne.
The 3 guys of the Goodyear Cup, and now we are waiting for the team.
Everybody in the paddock getting absolutely soaked, I imagine. And a clink of the bottles for the guys, and a very well done indeed. And there is everybody down in the pit lane enjoying themselves, but we certainly enjoyed ourselves on track. René Reiner made a fantastic start at the beginning, to be fair, fighting very hard with Teo Calvé. It was a real shame that his race would go the way it would, retiring with a good 4 or 5 laps to go. Teo Calvé certainly had to work hard defending him early on. And let's face it, a lot of the race for Teo Calvé was defending. There was contact throughout the field though, this here with Lachko and Janiek just touching wheels and wheel guards. Steffi Halm then became a mobile smoke machine as she made her way around the track with bodywork damage. The fans were out in their huge numbers on top of the pit building, but that wasn't going to do anything to stop the smoke from Steffi's truck. There was big contact between Shane Brereton and Anthony Janiek. Anthony having a very, very rough ride indeed. Amazing avoidance by Stefan Faas not to make big contact. And then the fantastic drive through from Jamie Anderson, overtaking Shane Brereton for second in the Goodyear Cup as Jochen Hahn made his way up to second place to chase down race leader Teo Calvé. Lachko was one of a few drivers to make his way past René Reiner, who eventually, as mentioned, would retire. Sascha Lenz here trying to go around the outside at turn 8. Soon Norbert Kish was putting Jochen Hahn under pressure to try and get past Teo Calvé. Reiner again being pushed out wide. Norby was cheered on very well indeed, but Jochen Hahn got through before Norbert could do anything about the outgoing champion. Then came the battle of the race. Amazing defending throughout by Teo Calvé, throwing everything at Norbert Kish to keep him at bay. Norby, the newly crowned champion, was certainly on a way out there to prove himself in this race, holding off Lachko and holding off Lenz at the same time, while also trying to get past Teo Calvé. The bodywork was all over the place and the racing was close. Every single lap, Norby trying move after move after move. It almost looked like he got it done at one point, but Teo managing to just about hold him off, even after this amazing overlap in the first section of the circuit. Sascha Lenz tried his hand at getting through as well, but ultimately the door would be closed by Norbert Kish. Jochen Hahn disappeared off up the road to take his 3rd race win of the season. And what a performance it was. Calvé managed to hold on to second, with Kish in 3rd, also taking a win, of course, in the Goodyear Cup was Teo. But it was a fantastic day's racing, and it means now that the points have shimmied around quite a lot. People in the overall championship moving places, and of course in the Goodyear Cup as well. But it's still Norbert Kish now over 250 points from Sascha Lenz with 209. 16 points separating him and Adam Lachko, with Jochen Hahn into 4th place ahead of Alberthetti by just 2. Steffi Halm is 6th ahead of Andrei Kurzim. Teo Calvé now 8th overall with about 14 points back to Shane Brereton. Then it's Anthony Janiek rounding out your top 10. But it's been a very hard-fought day of racing today here at Misano. The sun is now setting on the first day of the 2, and we'll be back with you tomorrow for another pair of races and, of course, qualifying and Super Pole. It's been a hell of a lot of fun this time out, and we will round out the season with 2 more races and say goodbye to the 2021 season of the FIA European Truck Racing Championship. But speaking of goodbyes, at this moment, it's time for me to say goodbye and hello to Christina, who will just round us out with a couple of words before we go.
Okay, then I will say goodbye to you, Chess, and of course to Joachim Eberts, our commentator from Germany. You did a great job today. Thank you very much. Speaking of great job, of course, it's Shane Brereton. You already got one hand, I would say, on the trophy, but there's still a lot of things to do. Tomorrow, of course, 21 points ahead. What do you think about the perspective?
We've just had to play it safe. I had a good battle with Theo earlier, but it started to get a bit more contact, so I thought best let him go. I didn't want to risk a non-finish, and I had the same really then with Jamie. So sometimes you've got to concede to make sure you finish.
The mechanics will have a lot to do, of course, this evening. What are you thinking about the setup? Is it already there, or do you want to need some little adjustments for this track at Misano?
No, we're nursing an injury from the accident in Spain. So we're very unlucky that we've had a deaf set of shock absorbers, so we're a little bit on the back foot.
Thank you very much, Shane. Good luck for tomorrow. Have
Thank
a good
you.
evening. Thank you very much. So this was day one at Misano here in Italy. I hope you had fun too. Oh, the sun is slightly going down. And it was really, really good fun to see. We've got already our European champion, and his name is Norbert Kiesch. But as you heard, the Goodyear Cup there's still the battle going on. And of course, the battle for rank 2 and 3 in the European Championship. So would you please tune in tomorrow? That would be nice on Sunday, because we could 2 races, 1 qualifying ahead of us. So from here, from this perspective right now, we like to say goodbye and see you on Sunday.